Hello everybody, this is Rich Barrington for RB Outdoors. Immediately I got to apologize for any wind noise. We are at Lake Mojave on the Nevada side, and I can't do any fishing because it is blowing like crazy, as you can see. So I'm trying my best to keep the wind noise down. But today I want to talk about being prepared when you go on a trip. We are almost a little over halfway of our 120-day trip of the Southwest. And when you go on trips like this, shit happens. And I don't know about you, but like when you get stuck or get a flat tire or have a breakdown, you know, the anxiety level gets pretty dang high. So we've learned to bring quite a few things with us to help hopefully reduce that anxiety if you get a flat or get stuck. So I've got actually 11 things I want to show you today that has really helped us and other people when we are out on the road. So let's get to it. So here is the stuff that I'm talking about that can actually save your bacon. So we're going to talk about each item individually, and if we've used it, how we've used it, and how it's helped us and other people. So first of all, a high quality tire pressure gauge. This one is instant, and you can also release air out of it too. Amazon, I think it was like 20 bucks. Highly recommend this. A good quality toe strap, and we're going to go in much detail on that here in just a second. Not duct tape, but Gorilla Tape. This stuff is superior in my opinion. I've seen people use this where they had leaks in the radiator hose and they just wrapped it to get them to the location to get another hose. Excellent stuff. Of course, shovel. Thousands and thousands of uses. Always bring a shovel. Here's one that I bought. I haven't even used it yet. It is an actual tire repair kit. I got it off Amazon. Again, we're going to go and review on this. Your deflating kit to air down your tires when you're on some really, really nasty roads, and we'll go into detail on that. Penetrating oil. We got a flat on our month trip in Oregon, and I put the wrench to take the lug nuts off, and they didn't move. I stood on the wrench and it didn't move because they were so rusted on there. Penetrating oil. We actually got another flat here in Arizona. I squirted this on. It was on the opposite tire. I let it sit for not even 2 minutes, and I was able to twist them off without standing and bouncing on the wrench again. A nice little hand saw to cut stuff out of the way if you're getting stuck, or you can cut more branches and stuff if you need to make traction for your tires. Always good. And a nice pump. Nice 12-volt compressor pump. This thing is worth its weight in gold. I use it all the time. And then traction boards. And we're going to go in detail on these too. These have saved our bacon a couple times. Personally, I think I've only used them 2 or 3 times on ourselves, but I've also used them with a lot of other people that were stuck. I just helped someone get unstuck yesterday, and I used the toe strap. And then last but not least, a good wrench with multiple fittings, because of course your truck comes with one and it probably only fits that particular vehicle, but when you're hauling any kind of trailer, whether it's a RV, a flatbed trailer, anything, cargo trailer, you got to make sure that you have the right lugs that you can take off, and so to have a good wrench. Right, first let's talk about a good strap. I got this off of Amazon. It's 3 inches wide and 20 feet long. It has a pulling capacity of 35,000 pounds. I, years ago, bought a super cheap one, and guess what? It's broke. So I spent the money and got this. I've only used it to pull other people out, not on my rig just yet. But within a 48-hour period in California, I used it 3 times, pulling people out of the sand. So highly, highly recommend this. Now you do want to get some shackles to put around this and then connect to your vehicle. I have some that are a little bit on the small side because this webbing is so thick, but it did work. This is on Amazon. It's got great reviews, and it's about 50 bucks. And let me tell you, if you just get stuck once and someone helps you pull it, I mean, that to me, that's totally worth having a good quality item. Now this particular item is probably not a must-have for everyone, but we spend a lot of time in the backcountry and some really bad roads, and it's an air down kit. You just put this on your valve stem and you can control the amount of air that you can release for a smoother ride, less chance of getting a flat tire. I probably use it almost once a week right now, but again, it's not a must-have if you're not on a lot of roads like that. And our next item is the Big Boy 2000, which I did a review on this about a year ago, and if you want to watch that, it's an excellent saw. I always keep it right on the side of my canopy here, and again, it's not a must-have for most people, but if you were to get stuck and you're looking for, if you didn't have these boards and you wanted to cut branches and sticks and limbs to put underneath your tire, which I have done, this works really well. Plus, it's just great for cutting wood and stuff like that. And this was also on Amazon, and this is about 60 bucks, but it is way worth it. Okay, and now for the most expensive thing on my list. It's a Air pump. It's a 12 volt, puts about 150 psi out, but it's about 250 bucks. But it's a high quality item. I mean, it's got some great hoses, great gauges. On Amazon, out of 1,600 reviews, it got 4.8 stars. It's got a great flex hose onto it, and I've used a lot. Now, it's a lot of money, but when you're in a pinch and you've got a low tire, a flat tire, I mean, do you want a $50 pump that is going to work for a long time? Probably not. This one's going to last you probably a lifetime if you take care of it. So for example, we were in the Painted Hills in Oregon, and we were going to go on a big hike, and I pulled over, I got out, and I heard hissing from this tire right here. And it was a slow leak, but I could hear it. So what I did is I put air in it probably 3 or 4 times on our way to Mitchell, Oregon, which is a population of less than 150 people, but it actually had a tire repair shop. And this was really nice. I just left it right here, and once it got too low, I pulled over, put air in it. It can pump a 33-inch tire from 0 to 30 pounds in less than 5 minutes. That's pretty good. So this one, again, it is expensive, but let me tell you, when you're stuck on the side of the road, I mean, money, I mean, you just, again, it just buy quality. Okay, on to the tire repair kit. Like I said, I haven't used this yet. When we were in Oregon, and I actually got a big old rock slit right in the main part of the tread, this probably would have came in handy if you get a screw or a nail. Basically, this is kind of your reamer, so once you find your leak and you can pull out the nail or screw, whatever it is, if it's still there, you basically ream out your rubber on your tire, and then it comes with all these patch kit, and this is the lube for it. And basically you string it, it's almost like a rope, and you string it right through the hole like this, punch it in, and then pull it out, and then it actually seals the tire. Even comes with extra valve stems, all kinds of extra little goodies to help you hopefully get back on the road. And again, a lot of people may not want to do this, but if you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, AAA ain't coming. You got to do it on your own. And while I'm on the subject of flat tires, most people do not check their air pressure in their spare tire. I mean, you could go years and years and years without ever getting a flat tire. Then you get one, you pull your spare down, and guess what? It's flat or near flat anyway. They say you can lose 1 to 2 pounds of pressure in your tire every single month. So imagine if 3 to 5 years went by and you never checked your spare tire for air pressure, and then when you really, really need it and you got it down and it's flat, not good. So I do check mine. I do check it once a year. I crawl underneath there, and so far so good. But just something to keep in mind, again, going through all that work, taking off the flat, taking off the spare, and then you realize the spare's no good because it's flat. Got this on Amazon, 25 bucks. And like I said, I haven't used it yet. If I ever do, I will try to film it and show me repairing a tire. Now to the pressure gauge. We are full-time RVers, so between the truck and the 2 trailers we have, I am constantly checking air pressure because it's so important whether you're on the road or even off-road. Like I said, I do air down a lot, and I want a good quality air pressure gauge. Again, Amazon, about 20 bucks. I keep this in the rear passenger side door panel so I can just open the door and grab it. I always check the tires before I leave on a trip, and then periodically, depending on how long that trip is, I check them a lot. And having the proper lug wrench also is important. Like I said, your truck or your tow vehicle will come with it, and it will fit your vehicle. But when it comes to trailers, there's different lug patterns, different sizes, and how sucky would it be to get a flat and you realize you can't even get your lug nuts off because you don't even have the right wrench to do it. So again, before you go on a trip, make sure you have a right wrench with the right lug nut fittings for any kind of thing that you're towing. Now when you get a flat tire, it can be very stressful. You could be on the side of a highway, which is dangerous. You get, the cars, the semis, or you're out in the middle of nowhere, same situation. And it can be stressful. Have all of this stuff that I'm talking about fairly accessible. Because the last thing, you don't want this buried so far somewhere in your cab of your truck or the back of your truck or underneath the stuff that it's going to take you another 10 minutes just to find it, which adds more anxiety to already a tough situation. So have these things pretty available. I literally keep this on the side of my truck. My Viair is in my deck system, and it sits right here. So if I need it, it takes me literally 30 seconds or less to get it. And the blaster, penetrating oil. Again, and this also has multi purposes, but a vehicle can go years and years without ever getting a flat tire or the tires actually coming off. And when you want to take it off and you can't, well, obviously that's a problem. So this stuff works really well, even if you use WD-40 or anything to help break loose that rust. Because when we got our flat tire in Oregon and I put my wrench on there and I couldn't move it, and I actually stood on the wrench and bounced, it still didn't budge. It took both me and Brenda, me standing and her pulling at the same time to get those off. The second time we got a flat tire, that was not an issue. Gorilla Tape, again, thousands and thousands of uses while you're camping or on the road. I mean, it's really endless. But I got to tell you, I'm really impressed with this stuff. I mean, like I said, I've watched videos where guys have literally wrapped the split radiator hose and it got them to a shop where they can buy a new one. So that really impresses me. Plus it has so many other uses, and I just keep it readily available. It's about 12 bucks, but highly recommend the Gorilla Tape. Okay, on to the very last thing that I carry, and these are traction boards. A lot of people don't even, and never heard of them, or I get like, what are those things? Well, they're traction boards. If you look at them, it's got all of these knots and grooves and stuff in here, and basically, depending on which direction you want to go, you put them underneath the board. So let's say we're in snow or sand, you put these right underneath the tire, and all you got to do is just roll forward or back a couple inches, and you have all this for traction. Each board is rated at 10 tons. That's 22,000 pounds max loading. So unless you're driving a fire truck full of water and get stuck, this will work for any vehicle. They come in a pair, and they're about $100. I actually want to get two more. Two of them weigh about 14 pounds. And while we are on our way to Lake Alamo, these guys saved us. I actually made bridges with these things. We got into some situations where the roads were washed out and there was like a 2 to 3 foot just drop off. I would double stack these, single stack these, put rocks underneath. I mean, we made bridges I don't know how many times, and without these, I got to tell you, I'm not sure what could have happened. Probably a lot of damage. And I was just absolutely shocked on how well these things held up and what you can do with these. Like I said, you can double stack them. 4 of them would be ideal. That way, if you were super stuck, you could put them on all 4 tires. And if you had 4-wheel drive, that means all 4 tires would get you out of the hole. I've used them in sand. I've used them in snow. Not so much in mud. But like I said, I built literally bridges out of these things because of extreme drop-offs. Highly recommend these if you're going to spend any time in the backcountry. Well, I hope you enjoyed this short video since I couldn't go fishing because it's too windy. But I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear tips, tricks, gadgets, making a stressful breakdown, stuck tire problem a lot less stressful. If you like our videos, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. We really enjoy doing these videos. We're going to try to get out of the wind and do some adventuring and hopefully not get stuck. Catch you down the road.